This is the whole routing and presentation for golf course design. Dustin and Cody are doing this assignment, and so I'll give you a brief introduction on about golf design. It was originally intended to be played over well-drained and natural terrain surfaces where construction was not of the concern as the land was left undisturbed and still very challenging. The whole direction typically departed from the clubhouse and circled itself back to maintain efficiency and practicality, but now that we have virtually endless resources to maintain today's golf course, holes are distributed with pattern and calculations just to develop that prestige view and challenge. So the balance of accuracy and length is consistently challenged through all of these par fives, par fours, and par threes. And while the rewards are seldom granted to the heroic attempt, the conservative player is still allowed the calculated shots through strategy and accuracy. So we will run through a couple of these holes here that will explain why we designed them the way we did. So with the first hole that we did, it's a par 3. There is a very appealing green, the green from here. So the par 3, we're going to be starting up in this area and we're going to be shooting down to this section. It's a very challenging par 3 as we have some hazards in the way, and then the slope, as you can see on this side, everything is just going to be forcing the ball to come into this green. There's small bunkers accompanied by the large bunker behind here. There's one tucked in the way, and then an approach just to allow a little bit of balance to people that have errors in their shots. The yardage is, with the par 3, we are looking at 188 yards, and from the tee it's 250 meters elevation above sea level, and to the green is also approximately 250. But at these championship tees here, as you can see, if you follow this line along, you'll see that it comes to the 275, and it's just above, so it's probably sitting at about 280. But anyways, it still adds to a little bit of challenge and a little bit of strategy to make sure that you can get there efficiently.
We could plot out and design everything. We have to first understand the layout of our map, and we can see here, pointing to the dash line, we have archaeological areas which are untouched and you cannot excavate below 2 feet. And then the bottom left here we have our scale, which 3/4 of an inch we found to be 200 feet. And then that we would convert into yards, which we have 2¼ inch equals 198 yards, and that's what we used to measure out and plot out all of our holes. And then on the sides here we have A, B, C, and 1 to 6. This just makes it easier in reports to zone out locations. So you can see here hole 3, or green 3 here would be in section 2 and part B, just making it easier to locate everything. Then we had to figure out our contour lines, which are all the wavy squiggly lines that run through our map, and what they mean and the increments that they move in. So you can see up here you have the more solid dark lines have set measurements, and all we did was count the lines in between and subtract them to find that it was 5-foot increments in all the contours. And then finding other hazards that are already there, like our water hazard and any of these other squiggly areas that have been established as bush or tree areas. We calculated all of our greens to be around 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, which gave us an average green size of about 6,300 square feet. Our par 4 is our water hole right here with the large fairway green right here. And this one forces a large water carry, especially for the tournament players. And then for our beginners and ladies tees, we moved it up to a place where you can still play over the water, or you can just go for the edge of the fairway here. With a large fairway, it's a little more appealing to go for the long bomb. With the mid-fairway hazards here right in the middle and to the southeast corner of the fairway, adds a little accuracy challenge. And then with our mid-fairway one here, lefties and righties should have some sort of play around it. And then right in here we incorporated the slope with our rough. It will, any shots heading up there should slope back towards the green or towards the approach landing area here. The approach landing area also adds an easier access to the green for any beginner players or misplayed shots. Our par 5 is hole 7, this big boy right here. We placed our tournament tee box up in here towards some hazards which make a narrow entrance to the fairway, but with the decrease in elevation, any shot should have the time to carry to the fairway. And then again with the slope here, shots should slope back towards the green, and the slope runs all the way to the green and fairway. Bunkers are located 3/4 of the way down the fairway here, and then just in front of our approach and in the northeast corner of the green. Just taking away from any huge long shots and making more accuracy challenges. With the approaches on both sides, it's a more forgiving green if you do miss. Yeah, that's it.
So to conclude, the golf course design takes a very philosophical viewpoint when you look at how you want to design your hole. You want to make sure you challenge the right individual, but also encourage the high handicapper to come back to your golf course. So with elevated tees, you're still going to get a bit of a landscape picture. You're going to really appreciate the scenery. And what we tried to do with our golf course is just reduce the amount of removal we had to do of elevations, but obviously we had to do it up to about 10 feet in some areas. But other than that, everything plays natural to the land. So when designing these types of courses, I think taking a green approach with limited impact is definitely beneficial and encouraging for individuals to want to learn and why design happens the way it does.